In the year 1839, in a small farmhouse in Richford, New York, a child was born who would one day control the price of light itself. His name was John Davison Rockefeller, the man who would become the richest human being in modern history. But his story didn't begin with oil. It began with hunger. Rockefeller's father, William, a traveling snake oil salesman and con artist, taught his son the first rule of wealth: never tell anyone how much money you have. Young John sold candy, raised turkeys, and lent money to neighbors. Every coin was recorded, every debt tracked. He was obsessed with order, a calculating mind forged in scarcity. By the time he was 16, Rockefeller was keeping ledgers so precise that he would later call them the secret language of God. The world would soon learn just how dangerous that language could be. At 16, Rockefeller became a clerk in Cleveland, earning just 50 cents a day. But where others saw work, he saw numbers, patterns, opportunities. He studied prices, freight costs, every hidden flow of money. Then came 1859, the year oil was discovered in Pennsylvania. The world rushed to drill, but Rockefeller saw chaos. To him, oil wasn't a gamble. It was a system waiting to be controlled. While others dug for black gold, Rockefeller built refineries. He didn't chase fortune, he designed it. By the 1860s, Rockefeller founded Standard Oil. His method was ruthless precision. He undercut competitors until they begged to sell. He bought out rivals quietly, one by one, until his empire spanned every pipeline, refinery, and rail car. His mantra was simple: competition is a sin, and he lived by it. He bribed railroads for secret discounts, crushed smaller refineries with impossible freight rates, and absorbed them into Standard Oil like a silent conqueror. By 1879, Rockefeller controlled 90% of America's oil. The age of the free market was over. The age of the monopoly had begun.
Standard Oil was more than a company. It was a machine, invisible, efficient, unstoppable. It had no single headquarters, no weakness. Dozens of shell companies masked Rockefeller's control. He created trust networks so complex that even lawmakers couldn't unravel them. Behind the scenes, Rockefeller rarely appeared. He spoke softly, avoided crowds, and lived modestly, while secretly manipulating industries, politicians, and markets. The true genius of Rockefeller was not how much he owned, but how well he hid it.
While other tycoons flaunted wealth, Rockefeller preached humility. He dressed simply, spoke rarely, and lived by one rule: control comes from invisibility. When reporters asked about his empire, he smiled. When competitors cursed his name, he donated to churches. He gave away dimes to children, symbols of thrift and discipline, while quietly earning billions. This paradox made him untouchable: a saint in public, a strategist in private. By 1911, Rockefeller's empire had grown too large, too powerful. The U.S. Supreme Court ordered Standard Oil to be broken apart under antitrust laws. But the victory was hollow. The split created 34 new companies, each still owned by Rockefeller. The value of his holdings doubled overnight. What the world saw as defeat, Rockefeller saw as multiplication. After conquering oil, Rockefeller turned to immortality. He rebranded his power through charity, creating the Rockefeller Foundation, the University of Chicago, and funding medical research that shaped modern science. He transformed money into influence. Every donation bought reputation, gratitude, and quiet access to governments and universities. Rockefeller had discovered a new kind of empire, not of oil, but of ideas.
Behind every move lay a pattern, the Rockefeller formula for infinite wealth. Control the source, never the surface. Appear humble, act invisible. Multiply through division. What seems broken is merely reborn. Turn reputation into currency. It wasn't magic, it was mathematics. Rockefeller turned greed into structure, chaos into order. He didn't invent capitalism, he perfected it.
Even after his death in 1937, Rockefeller's influence lived on through his sons, his foundations, and his strategic investments. The family quietly funded education, health, and finance, shaping policy across the 20th century. Their reach extended into oil, medicine, and banking. To this day, the Rockefeller legacy defines how power hides in plain sight. The empire never ended. It evolved.
In the end, Rockefeller's story is not about oil. It's about transformation. He turned ambition into faith, greed into order, and money into immortality. His life teaches one brutal truth. The richest empires are not built on luck or genius, but on discipline, secrecy, and time. And so, from a boy counting pennies by candlelight to the man who owned the modern world, Rockefeller fulfilled his father's lesson. Never show your wealth, only its shadow.